Hi, I'm Brian London, and you're watching Market 1 Minute. We're here today with John McCoach, president of the TSX Venture Exchange. Thank you, John, for joining us.
My pleasure.
John, it's been challenging markets for investors and companies listed on the Venture Exchange. How can the exchange help investors and companies meet those challenges, and really is it your job to do so?
Well, I think it's our job. I think it's something that we basically consider every day, and how we can help companies access capital, how we can make investors more aware of the marketplace and make it easier for them to invest in it. So there's a number of things that we've been working on, and we'll continue to do so.
There are some new initiatives, haven't there been recently?
Absolutely. Well, there's a new prospectus exemptions being proposed and have recently come into play, something that we've been very supportive of, working with the securities commissions. We've introduced a number of policy initiatives which we think will help companies access capital and reduce the burden of being a public company, but all while maintaining market integrity. That's something we're very conscious of.
There are a number of companies right now that are what people are calling zombie companies, but you're adamant about maintaining the listing standards even in a down market?
Well, I think it's important to be consistent. We have continued listing standards which are very transparent. They've been the same for many, many years, and we've been applying them consistently for the same amount of time. I don't think it's appropriate for the exchange to change those standards without giving the market, or first of all, getting input from the market and giving the market notice. So we're going to continue to apply those listing standards, and if companies don't meet them, we move them to a board that we call NEX, which is for inactive companies, in the hopes that they'll be able to reactivate and grow again and give shareholders value.
So John, the Venture Exchange is really unique in the world. As somebody who has a company listed on the exchange that operates in the U.S., it really has been a boon for us. Can you explain some of the differences between the Venture Exchange and other exchanges?
I think our exchange is unique in a number of ways. We have very low listing standards, initial listing standards, but we have very high standards for corporate governance, for disclosure requirements, and probably most importantly, for the suitability of the participants in our marketplace. We think those are the things that investors look for if they're willing to take a chance on an early stage company. Because the investors can decide whether they like the business, but we want to ensure that they're doing so in a fair and open marketplace.
So you have highs and you have lows, somewhat exaggerated, and now we've been at a low for some time. That creates a lot of challenges for investors and the companies listed on the Venture Exchange, don't you think?
Well, we specialize in facilitating access to capital for early stage companies in all sorts of industries. Each industry goes through different cycles. Right now, of course, natural resource industry is in a challenging cycle. Hopefully that, as you say, that is the bottom of it. The market
not your
will
job
tell us
to,
soon.
right. But it's historically been known as an exchange for resource companies and exploration companies and small-scale development. But you have more and more technology companies listed on the Venture Exchange, and it's becoming more of a focus. I've listed a technology company on the exchange, for instance. Is that an area that you're looking to expand?
There's about 2,200 companies listed on the Venture Exchange, and 65 to 70% of those companies are in natural resources, whether that be mining or oil and gas. But that still leaves 700 companies that are in many different industry sectors. Yeah, from technology, life science, industrial, real estate, financial services.
Well, one of the reasons we listed on the Venture Exchange is from a technology aspect. Our scientists were used to talking to VCs, venture capitalists, and the lot. With my background in resources, I told them, well, listen, we'll list on the Venture Exchange. Trust me, you'll have more value going forward because a venture capitalist would dilute you out of your own the company that you're creating the value for. Whereas with a public listing at a very early stage, there's liquidity. So that's easier to get people to invest in a company and placements, et cetera, when they know that they can get out as well.
I agree. Many times you're exactly right. I mean, being public is not for every company. We would never suggest that. Venture capital has a cost. There's other benefits to venture capital partners as well, of course. But it really depends on the particular company's circumstances, what makes sense for them. We think it's important that companies understand the option of going public, and that's what we try to do, is communicate the process, the advantages, the considerations, and let them make an informed decision.
And there's really nothing like the venture exchange that exists in the United States.
We think we're very unique in the world in many ways. Other marketplaces have tried to replicate what we have in Canada. We're very proud of what we have in Canada, particularly the success rate of these junior companies listing on our market and then graduating to the Toronto Stock Exchange. There's about 630 companies have graduated from the venture market to Toronto since 2000. There's no other marketplace in the world that's done
That allows that transition, right?
Absolutely.
That easy transition.
But what's encouraging for U.S. companies is that Congress and the SEC are talking quite a bit about facilitating or helping to create a venture market in the United States. And in fact, I had the honor in December of being invited to speak to a House Finance Committee of Congress to talk about our market in Canada, because they seem to be very interested in helping to create something like that there.
I think that's sorely needed. I'm somewhat dubious they'll be able to pull it off, though.
Well, I hope so, because I think that obviously it would be competition for our marketplace, but the more exchanges there are to help early stage companies, I think more people will understand.
More growth, more entrepreneurship, and
Absolutely.
everyone benefits.
Exactly. It helps our economies, it helps our societies.
Well, John, it's fascinating to get the perspective from the exchange, especially in these challenging markets. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.